How you doing, YouTube? Matt, Master Beer Reviews, back with yet another review. A little bit of double IPA, hopeful goodness, in the form of Treehouse Brewing's Hurricane. Yeah. Treehouse. I do their beers every now and then. Sometimes they go up there, sometimes they end up falling into my lap. That is the case of this one, courtesy of Steve, or Steven. Pronunciations are not my game. You know that if you watch my reviews. But we're going to review it nonetheless. It's double IPA. It's Treehouse. It's part of their, I assume, Tropical Storm series. I've done Typhoon. Now I'm doing Hurricane. Words. What does it say in here? Hurricane, American Double IPA, 1 pint. On the side here, story time. We are excited that you were holding a delicious double IPA from Burps. Treehouse featuring Simcoe and Citra hops. Hurricane coats the tongue with luscious hop oils and carries notes of tropical fruit, citrus, and ripe mango. By applying years of focused brewing execution, we are able to craft a beer that is not abrasive or harsh and features beautifully refined characteristics. This is the result of our uncompromising dedication to fresh, progressive, and delightful beer. We hope you enjoy with laughter, good cheer, and in the company of those you love. I think that's it. Government warning stuff. On the bottom we have, what do we have here? We have call my man Dwight just to see what's shaking. Okay, that's funny, actually. And we have, it was canned like, holy fuck. It was canned like 5 days ago? What the fuck? Steve, you crazy, man. Yeah. It's 8:09. I think today is 8:06, so yeah, 7 days ago. It's hot garbage now. Drain pour, throw it out. Yeah, that quote, that's The Office. I fought The Office so long. I did not want to watch that show. Why? Because I lived and worked in Scranton for many years, and I always found it to be a weird thing. People loved The Office in Scranton, and they're like, oh, The Office is the best show. And I'm like, it's just showcasing the ineptitude of people from Scranton, Pennsylvania. But then I was like, okay, I'll watch it, and it was funny. So I was wrong. One of the 3 times I've been wrong in life. Anyway, yeah, so there you go. A little bit of Scranton. Scranton reaches Treehouse. A little bit of trivia if you're around Jeopardy. When Alex Trebek, his robot soul takes over. We're getting tangents now. Anyway, let's get to the beer. It's a weird beer because it has this like super kind of fluffy, creamy top to it, but the rockiest edges I've seen in like a double IPA in like forever. It's like crazy how like when you see these like big, huge, rocky edges on beers, it's almost like you can see like into the beer soul because these bubbles kind of create this kind of edge to it where you can see like deep into the head itself. You're getting this, but on top of the beer itself, it's pretty damn creamy. And then you have this kind of rich orange core, slightly kind of cataracty, milky edges, so it has that kind of big, rich New England classic style look to it. So good nose on her if we can. Try to snort some foam in this one. How I would define that, it almost has like a chlorine kind of pool vibe to it. That's how vibrant and how icky sticky the hops are coming off. It's like this rich, decadent, almost like it's not even like hopped, dank weediness. It's almost like a syrupy kind of just resiny stickiness. It's beyond just buds and just this rich dankness. It has a kind of sappy kind of vibe to it, which is kind of funny. You think about sap and fucking Treehouse, and it's so vibrant, it's so violent that it gives like a chlorine vibe on it. Now, if you ever really just kind of straight up huffed a bag of decent weed, you get that kind of chemical kind of burn kind of thing going on. A lot of people, that's what you get when you get that kind of hop burn, that hop astringency thing in your tongue when you drink beers. But in here, the nose, it's so big, it's so vibrant, probably because it's so damn fresh, you just get that big chlorine vibe. Now, if I smell it like a normal person does, which is just like this, you don't get it. But I like to really dig in there and just let that nose kind of hit me, and that's where I get that kind of big pop, that kind of like chlorine level hoppiness. You want to talk about fruits, you want to talk about sweetness, you want to talk about yeastiness, you want to talk about all that stuff in a beer. You're not really going to get it here. Sure, it's not that it's not present, but the way those hops show in that green portion, in that striking, huge, danky, weedy, chlorini, as I would put it, kind of portion of the show, it's so big, it's just nixing all that stuff. You're just not going to get it. Which makes me want to dive in. Cheers. It's such a weird fucking beer. That's a weird beer, man. That's weird. That's super fucking weird. Because honestly, there's not much to it. In the taste, you get that really nice water fucked with nerdiness that you have to do to try to drop out all bitterness. And that's fun. I like that mouthfeel. And up, somewhere floating around up here, you get that green bitterness. That danky kind of big bitterness. It's not as big as the nose suggests, but you get it. But everything else is really fucking empty and muted. You don't really get any impactful kind of fruitiness in it. You don't get any kind of... It's a void. It's a void. There's really nothing else. There's really nothing else in the beer. There's soft fruits. There's soft fruits running in a medley of fruits. You're getting, soft papaya. You get a little bit of kind of that stone fruit. You get a little bit of citrus. But as far as the beer drinks, and as how big the beer is, it's just really not landing. Not landing at all. And I see that it's weird. And when I was like, that's a weird fucking beer, is because you're talking about like trying to drop out all bitterness. You're trying to kind of play that game of let's get rid of all the bitterness and just bring out all the juicy components of the beer. I feel like this beer is kind of going the opposite direction, and I think it might be on fucking purpose. And that, not that it's super impactful and that kind of bitter and green end of things, it's still muted as far as old school stylings go. You're getting that bitterness, but it's not gigantic. You're almost dropping out all that kind of fruit juicy components of it and leaving a void in the center. And it kind of makes sense. It's a hurricane. It's the eye of the storm. There's nothing in there. There's nothing in there. Like, if you've never experienced the eye of a hurricane, it's one of the coolest experiences you ever fucking experience. You have to have a random chance to actually do that. I'm lucky enough to actually, well, I wouldn't say I'm lucky to be in the eye of a fucking hurricane, but one of the coolest experiences as a child, I forget the name of the hurricane, but when I was like 9 years old, a hurricane came through New Jersey, and as a kid, I actually went outside and I had a hurricane. I was like, oh my God. I was like, it's fine. It's gone. The hurricane is gone, because my parents are like freaking out, trying to do everything they can to keep her house together. And my mom came outside, literally grabbed me and dragged me inside. And he's like, "Get fucking inside!" I was like, "Why? It's nice outside." Because it was so creepy and still, and empty, in a vacuum of nothingness. And that's kind of what I get from this beer. Listen, am I reading too much into the beer? maybe. But this is such a departure from what I've had from Treehouse. It almost seems like it can't be that much of a fucking just a random chance for that to be the case. Because you get a nice bittering on the nose, you get that soft fruits in the nose, and then you get everything on the edges, and the center has a void to it. I actually knock a lot of breweries for doing this. There's a lot of breweries I'm like, okay, you know, they're kind of doing fun things with the beer, but there's something missing in the core. I'm kind of getting that in this brewery, in this beer from this brewery, but from this brewery I know what they can do, so it's almost like I feel weird. It's like that preconceived notion where you're like, I know they can do whatever the fuck they want to do, so are they doing this on purpose? I don't know. So let's do that. Let's retract that and not bring any preconceived notion to it. It's okay. It's a fine beer. There's really, it's missing a core to it. It has a center missing. Whether they kind of wanted it to be missing or not, I don't know. But yeah, it's super weird. But I find it fun. So yeah, let's talk about it. Like a ton of bitterness dropped out, except for kind of meaningful bits and pieces on the edges. Nice nose, fun nose, unique nose. But when you actually get in a taste, that core of it, that center of it, has been dropped out, and there's really not much to be had except on the edges. With that bitterness and a little bit of soft fruit. One of the most least impactful double IPAs I've had from Treehouse. But in a way that it kind of makes me think like they're fucking with me, but at the same time, I'm going to judge it for what it is. And I'm going to say it's just kind of missing something in the core of the beer itself. I'm going to take the analogy to Hurricane. Have at it. Is it one of the better double IPAs I've had as of late? No. It could be, but it's not. Value and availability. Lucky enough, had somebody send this to me, you know, doesn't suck. Let's put it that way. Thank you very much, Steve. And brewery only, obviously, and leave you with, if you like what we like this. If you like a lot of Florida double IPAs, has a Florida double IPA vibe to me, and that core center of it, sweetness wise and fruit wise, is missing. But it gives a little bit of those kind of Haysboro, Hopthotty, Methadone kind of edges to it. It has that kind of vibe. So if you dig those Florida IPAs, double IPAs, you'll dig this one. There you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you didn't, anywhere in between, down there, words and stuff. Massive Beers. If you want to check me out doing the whole social media stuff. Beer Massive. If you want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing. And hopefully you guys enjoyed our review. Hopefully enjoying a nice little hurricane right now. Hopefully see you next time. Cheers.